talk about the new author that has an agent and now has landed a publishing deal. What should they expect? What should they maybe not hold so tightly, be very flexible with, and maybe things that they should fight for?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's going to vary a little bit from author to author and publishing house to publishing house. I know people have had horror stories and terrible experiences, and I know people have had great ones. I have actually had a fantastic experience with my publishing house. And going into it, I wasn't sure because I had heard so many stories from other authors that weren't always positive, so I didn't really know what to expect. In terms of what to hold on to and what not to, I always try not to be too precious about my work that I can't take notes from an editor, and I just always try to remember that they're on your team and they're trying to make your work better. Of course, I think it's important also to hold fast to things that are really important to you. So if someone's trying to alter something about your story that it just goes against what you really believe, you can fight for that. But ideally, you're getting into bed with an editor that really gets your work. I think some of the problems come from getting into bed with a publishing house or an editor where they want you to be something different than what you see for yourself and for your book. So being on the same page right off the bat will help. In terms of being not too precious, well, I mean, cover design is a big one. I was lucky enough that my agent got me approval, which I don't think is that common always. So I had some control over the process, but I also didn't have to use it because I loved the book cover.
Oh, let's see it. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it right off the bat. It was so beautiful. It was exactly something. So I didn't actually have to use my approval. But and I've heard even stories like that Barnes & Noble can get publishers to change book covers to what they want. Which is kind of wild that they have that much control sometimes. And I know people sometimes are frustrated by that. In terms of what to be precious about or not, I think when you're coming into marketing and release, I think that, there's going to be some reviews that probably aren't going to be uniformly positive. And that can be from a magazine or a trade publication or a blogger. It can also just be from a random reader on Goodreads. And I think sometimes, maybe not taking those seriously, just understanding that different readers are going to like books or not like books, and that isn't a reflection on the quality of what you did. Not every book is for every reader. And I think that you just kind of being okay with that. And not because, it's very easy to feel bad or get hung up on negative reviews. And, you just don't know what was going through the reviewer's mind. Maybe they just don't like books that are in that genre. Maybe who even knows? So just kind of not taking any of that stuff too seriously. But I do advocate authors take an active role in marketing their books. I think too many authors will sign a deal and then kind of sit back and expect their publishing house to do everything. And the truth is that they're stretched very thin. They have so many titles. A lot of times if you're a new author and your book isn't the big superstar book that they're promoting that time, you might not get a lot of resources or attention. So then it becomes your job to really kind of advocate and really kind of work for your book. So